Okay, we are short on time this class, so I am going to be going quickly here. Let's focus a little bit. Don't worry, you have the video to watch again. So, converting. What we do is we have a fractional exponent, or rather, converting the radical, which is the square root, to the exponential form, which means you're going to have to deal with the fractional exponent. This equals x to the exponent b over a. Okay. B over a. So the a slides over and it's b over a. Now here what we do is we have to multiply these together first. So this equals square root a times d x exponent b times c. So when we convert this, x is the base, and what would be the fraction? BC over AD. So you might get something really crazy complicated, but it's pretty simple. Let's start here. Let's please do 3a for me. X the exponent I want to say Maddie. Kaya, what's the fractional exponent? 2/3, right? So just where the b is, if the b is on the inside, it goes to the top. Now this one's a little tricky. What's the index that we don't have to write? 2. All right, index of 2. You're thinking something different, and it's going to come up with the next question. What's the number on the top? 5. What goes below? 2. You guys need to focus at the back a little bit, please. Okay. C. Now, what's the exponent right here on the x before we change it? 1. Okay, we'll never write that 1. That's what someone was talking about the last question. So for a fractional exponent, when we convert it, what does it equal? 1 over 4. Those are the dead simple, dead easy questions. Okay? Dead easy? Yeah, those would be like the first 3 questions of your homework. After that, we're going to assume you know how to do that. Okay. Next one. Now it looks different with the fraction, but really, this is like a 1 times a 7. So when we remove the brackets, what's the exponent inside here? 7. Okay? And so now what is that as a fractional exponent? 7 over 3. It's that easy. Okay, for E, you have to multiply these two numbers here. So x doesn't change. And what's the new index? 6. Remember, the 2 is hidden. That's something new. You haven't seen that. Now when we convert it, what does it equal? 1 over 6. Okay. Good. Now this next one. I want you to convert it right away, please. Looks big and hard, doesn't it? 8 times 2 is 16. In the bottom, 24. 4 times 6. But that's not the final answer. Why? Reduce it. Okay, just like a regular fraction, even though it's an exponent, you can still reduce it. And you're going to have to do that. So divide them both by 8 and you'll get 2/3. Okay. Oh, God. Okay. Any questions? Okay, now you go in the other direction. So now we have a fractional exponent. Now you have to write it as a radical. So put the 4 and the 7 in the correct spot. Look up above, please. So we say this is the 7th root of x exponent 4. Okay. 7th root of x exponent 4. What about b? These are a little tricky. Some hidden numbers there. This is simply square root x. You wouldn't write the 2 or the 1. Okay, watch out for those hidden numbers. And the last one, 5th root of x exponent 9. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So, evaluate. Usually that means use a calculator. Please take out your calculators, everyone. If you need to borrow one, come up. This is really important. So listen carefully. Some calculators will handle fractions. Some will handle decimals. But I'm going to teach you like they don't handle them. Okay? I mean, you can experiment on your own time. So, for most calculators, because what you have to do is convert this to a radical first. So, cube root 20 squared. So what you want to do on your calculator when you're doing this is, especially the new calculators, make sure you use brackets. So around 20 squared, make sure you have brackets. Now, old school calculators for this section are way easier. You would just go 20 squared, and then you go cube root. And the answer is 7.368. Everyone try that on the calculator. Make sure they get 7.368. Anyone not? Okay, next one. So it's going to be the 4th root of 103. Try that now, please. $3.1857, which would round to 3.19. So rounding to the nearest hundredth.
And wouldn't it be 7.37 for the first one?
Yeah, 7.37. Thank you. Next one. What does that become as a radical? 7 is the root, 11 is the exponent. Okay, it's going to be quite large. So make sure you put brackets around it. If you have an old calculator, go 40 exponent 11 first. And then go 7th root. 329.25 when you round. Okay, come up. This is the hardest question. Come up if you need help, real quick. Anyone need help with this one? The hardest question. Gang, are you getting this on calculator?
No.
Come up, real quick. Let's go. Quick, Dion, come on up.
No need to be shy. No, Dion's shy.
You have an older one? Okay, next one here. Square root 0.04 cubed. Try that one. And then I want you to try E and F on your own. Did you round properly?
Wait, so that was just a 1 then? 0.01?
Yeah, make sure you round properly. This one here. It's 0.14 when you round properly. Now, for F, some calculators can't handle the decimal. So what you can do is convert that to a fraction, 14 over 10, because the 4 is in the tenths decimal spot. Then you can reduce to lowest terms. Divide them both by 2, you get 7 over 5. Then you can convert to the fifth root of 1.8 to the exponent 7. So you might have to do some work because not all calculators can handle the decimal.
On E, you put 3.
Yeah,
That's
3 is
7.
Sorry, change that?
And then E is the 7.
Oh, I totally screwed that up. Index 7. Is it the right answer? Okay.
What would you do?
I know. I admit it. You guys are pain. 1.8 exponent 7. And then do a fifth root. 2.277, so it rounds to 2.28. Any calculator issues? So you're going to see some of this calculator stuff in your work. For today, a bit of it comes up in word problems. So here's your formula. So biologists use that formula to estimate the brain mass of a mammal. You can find out how heavy your brain is now. Estimate the brain mass of a polar bear with a mass of 200 kilograms. So the brain mass equals 0.01 times 200 to the exponent 2/3. What you want to do now is figure out this value as a decimal, please. So you can on the side go 200 to the 2/3 equals cube root 200 squared. All you're doing is using a formula and doing some work on the calculator. And so you get 34.1995. Do not use that number for anything. You know why I don't use this number? Because this is the number I'm supposed to use, all the decimals. Never use rounded answer in further work. Golden rule of all math. So I take this number and I times that by 0.01. I'm going to get 0.34199. Is that a good answer? Look at your units. You have a small decimal in kilograms. Is that a good answer? No. Convert it to grams. 341.99 grams. Right, we multiply by 1,000 to convert. And so that's going to round that. A good number then is 342. Okay, so sometimes in the book, they will convert on you. You have to know how to do that. We're going to go more into that next chapter a little bit. Any questions?
For today?
Nope. That's just a calculator. That's like, do you know how to use the machine? If you're stuck on any of that, if you didn't get that on your calculator, just come up and ask. I'll quickly show you. You have to know how to do that. Turn it over. Now you're using your brain. Oh man, I'm so sick.
Yeah. You're like,
I know. Sorry. It's
really
like,
distracting.
I feel like I'm gonna sneeze like every second here. Okay. From last exponent loss from last year, power to a power, you would multiply them together. So this would equal 3 exponent 6. So with the letters, you would just simply write A is your base, X times Y is the exponent. Now we already looked at this a little bit with our fractions. You multiply it into both of them. So 3 exponent 2 times 3 over 4 exponent 3 times 3. That equals 3 exponent 6 over 4 exponent 9. We already looked at this today. We just did this on the last page, right at the beginning.
But it's going really fast.
Okay. You guys are too busy giggling.
Keep your nose.
So here, what's the exponent on the A and the B? X times Y, W times Y. Okay, the Y multiplies the top and the bottom. So that's one thing that you need to have. No. Okay, we multiply fractions. This equals 3 times 2 divided by 3, which is 6 divided by 3, which equals 2. Never ever do it like that. What should you do instead? Cancel first. So the answer equals 2. What about 10 and 5? Cancel, but what's left over? A 2. 2 times 4 equals 8. Well, how's the 7s? Cancel. Answer equals 6. So what we're doing today is combining these two ideas together. And the facelift. So what we need to do is take A, change it to BX so that the X's cancel and we're left with Y. I'll show you what I mean right now. 27. We want 27. We've got to give it a facelift, but the bottom of the fraction is a 3. So the facelift means that the exponent must be a 3. So 27 equals what cubed? 3. We changed 27 into 3 cubed. That's just what we did on that first worksheet.
Right.
Okay. Then we multiply the exponents. So 3 is the base, and then we get 3 times 1/3. So the base does not change. What happens when we multiply 3 times 1/3? Cancel. We're left with the exponent 1. And so that simply equals 3. Okay, questions? How you guys doing back there? Okay. All right, let's try it again. So we have 3/4 is the fraction. So what exponent are we looking for then? Right here. 4. No, it's not a 9. We want a 4 because we don't want a 2. The 2 and the 4 won't cancel. So we want to try and cancel out this 4. So what's the 81 going to become? 3. Jinx, owe me a soda. Then the kids start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When you say soda again, that's how many sodas you owe me. All summer long, Emily. All summer long. 3. Avery's the oldest, then Micah's middle, and then Gwen's the youngest. Gwen, she just started grade 1, 6. Nice black eye. I don't know, she's getting out of bed or something, or I don't know. Oh, here's this blood curdling scream. Well, it's downstairs, she's upstairs. Okay, multiply your exponents together. What happens to the 4s? Cancel. So we're left with 3 exponent. 3. Now we can evaluate that. What's 3 cubed?
27.
There you go. Pretty cool stuff.
No.
This is my favorite lesson, and you're ruining it. Okay. Now, if we can reduce those, we should, but we can't do that for this question. So what we want to do is give the facelift right away.
Stop saying that.
What exponent do we need for the facelift? 2. So what does 25 become? 5. And what does the 16 become? 4. So on the 5, we're going to get 2 times 3 over 2. And on the 4, when we multiply it, we'll get 2 times 3 over 2. Well, what squared equals 25? What squared equals 16? So what you got to do is get your exponent first, then change the number. Do you have a question? Okay, no worries. So this equals what? Cancel out the exponents. 5 cubed over 4 cubed. Then we can evaluate. 125 over 64. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking on the phone.
Try next one. D yourself. Go. Try D, please. Do it all yourself. Yeah. Don't sweat the small stuff. Yeah. You're going to be doing this over. Okay. You should start seeing some patterns and more questions are going to look similar because I can't make up a ton of them. How many people got 81? Hands up. Okay, thumbs up down in the middle. Tell me where you're at. This is a complicated lesson, okay? Good, thank you. Next one, what are you going to do when there's a decimal?
Turn it into a fraction.
Bingo, so 49 as a fraction equals what? 49 over 100, that easy. Now it's time for a facelift.
Yeah.
I don't really understand why I use the term face.
Because it's the same value, it just looks different. Kind of like a facelift. Same person, you just look different. Quickly, girls, you should be done this question. Let's go. 7 squared over 10 squared. So then when you multiply it together, what do you get? 7 over 10. I'm showing less work now. If you're confused, look up top where I show the multiplication and the canceling, okay? So I am showing less work. Okay. Now, F, next one. So,
What do you put negative?
you can give it a facelift, but you should put it in brackets. So it should be negative 4 cubed. So then when you multiply it, it's negative 4. 3 times 1/3. What does that equal? Yep, cancel it. Yep, negative 4. Exactly. So you can go negative 4, 1, which equals negative 4. Okay. So watch out for your negatives. You only probably see 1 or 2 of them. Because this stuff is pretty challenging, we don't give you tons of negatives. Okay. But do watch out for like negative 4 to the exponent 8. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not going to get into it. Negative 4 square root does not exist. Okay, I think we're pretty good right now. Let's try the bottom 3 yourself. As fast as you can, just do J, K, and L. And then I say we're done. Is this A block? Oh, B block. I'm recording this.
Really, Jamie, does it make you happy?